This is Senator Chuck Schumer out of New York. He is speaking right now in D.C. Along the same lines. He's talking about the economy, the impact on tariffs. Again, we broke in with news, big news of a 90-day pause coming down from President Trump on some tariffs on most countries except for China. Let's listen in to what Democratic leaders have to say regarding tariffs, the economy, maybe even this pause. Let's listen in.
They keep changing their minds about what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, and the only victim is the American public, American consumer, the American citizen, the American business. Who is next? Senator Gillibrand.
Thank you. Well, I couldn't agree more with Senator Schumer. The chaos and volatility in our economy is so destructive. President Trump may have paused these reciprocal tariffs, but he's maintained a 10% tariff on all of them. Businesses will now not invest in new projects or expand their workforce because they have no idea of what is coming next. A 90-day pause means they don't know what's going to happen at the end of the 90 days. A 10% tariff is still going to hurt our families. These tariffs and this trade war are absurd. They're going to increase costs for everyday goods, from food to housing to anything you buy for your family or your children. It's going to fuel inflation. The cost of everything will continue to go up, and it will slow our economic growth. It hurts families, it hurts children, it hurts our seniors, and I've heard from my constituents all across New York State. Because of this chaos, this incompetence, and this carelessness, he has wiped out trillions of dollars from the U.S. economy. The amount of loss of wealth alone from middle-class families, from working families, from our small businesses is incalculable. The S&P 500 has continued to drop. It goes up, it goes down further, it goes down again. Again, chaos, incompetence, and carelessness. That is the hallmark of the Trump presidency. If these tariffs had actually gone into full fruition, it would have cost each American household at least $4,000. It would decimate over 700,000 American jobs and raise prices on everything from health care to child care to electronics to cars. It's a manufactured crisis. It's something that didn't need to happen. President Biden left in place a good, functioning economy and a booming stock market. Now President Trump has pulled the rug out from all of that. I think we need to continue to work as hard as we can to bring people together, and I think this is the beginning of what we are doing here in the Senate.
Senator Hirono.
Well, frankly, ever since he got elected, it's been one damn thing after another. So governing by executive order, most of them are illegal. There are over 100 lawsuits now to prevent him from doing all these things that he shouldn't even be doing. But the result of all this is chaos. And when we talk about chaos, it actually impacts real-life people. Maybe Trump and his billionaire buddies can withstand all of this chaos that they have put into our communities, into our country, but real-life people can't. I just had a chance to talk with some students from New Mexico, and they know that the president is trying to get rid of the U.S. Department of Education and what that would mean for their educational opportunities. And one of them asked me, what is the thing that bothers me the most about everything that's going on? And I said, we have a president who is doing all these things, causing great harm, and he doesn't care. He doesn't give a rip. We can stand here and talk about people's 401ks and IRAs tanking. We can throw out all the numbers, how much of these tariffs will cost a typical family. Do you think he cares? Because if he did, he wouldn't do it. He doesn't give a rip. See, that is the thing that has to sink in with the American people. This is like he's throwing the dice. It's a crapshoot to him. He thrives on the fear and chaos that he creates. Do we get it? He enjoys it. And he's going to keep doing it, folks. There are going to be more lawsuits, more chaos. This is what we're going to need to contend with, I guess, for the next 3 years. And we need to fight back. And part of what we need to fight back with is to let people know. People are coming to us telling us their stories. And we just heard, by the way, food insecurity is on the rise in our country because these tariffs are causing prices to go up. In anticipation, people are raising prices. And we heard this morning from the head of the National Grocers Association. This is an organization that represents a lot of the smaller grocery stores. And he said that the tariffs are causing prices to go up. And how is that going to impact families? Trump and his buddies don't give a rip about all of this, but in real life, people are having a hard time. And if you are on a fixed income, you think that grocery prices going up is not going to increase your food insecurity. So all of this is happening, and the chaos continues. So what I say to all the groups who are coming to our offices is that we each have a responsibility to fight back against this cruel bully. That is what Trump is. He is a cruel bully, and I'm waiting for the Republicans to stand up to this cruel bully. Each one of us has a voice. We need to use it to stand up. The law firms, the universities that are supposed to be the exemplar of our democracy and all of that, everybody needs to stand up, and because Trump loves the fact that people bow to his cruelties, and we're fighting back.
Thank you, Senator Hirono. Senator Kim.
I had the chance to talk to some constituents back in New Jersey about their reaction to what has just happened, especially business owners, and they said two things to me. They said the damage has already been done and that uncertainty remains. And I think that that's really important to hit home. I mean, this is something where we've seen, as Senator Gillibrand mentioned, trillions of dollars of damage when it comes to our economy, but also when it comes to these small businesses, because the uncertainty remains, because we don't know what's going to happen after the 90 days. We don't know what's going to happen next. Just the fact that he's making just these major decisions on a whim, it's going to continue to affect the prices that small businesses in particular are going to be paying, because they're saying just the prospect of additional tariffs down the road, whether it's 90 days or not, is going to keep their prices up. The last thing I'll say, as someone who's worked in national security before, engaged a lot on U.S.-China challenges on this front, if Trump is continuing to try to keep the pressure on Trump, he's doing it in the wrong way. If we're trying to take on and think about economic tools when it comes to tariffs, the best way would have been to be able to do it in a multilateral way, to work alongside other countries to join us in an effort to take on an economy as strong as China. But what we see right now is that America right now, we're not a global leader, we're a global outlier. We are causing so much of the damage in this way, and our allies and our partners who we've abandoned, or Trump has abandoned and gone after, we're going to make it harder for us to be able to take the kind of efforts on the national and the global stage that is necessary. And you see very clearly right now that America first to Donald Trump when it comes to foreign policy means America alone. Look how alone we are right now in this moment. It is shameful, and it is something that, as myself, I've worked in national security, I've never seen this level of isolation of the United States as I do right now, and that is so damaging on so many different fronts.
Thanks, Andy. So look, you can't undo the damage. The Trump slump is upon us now. And whatever he will try to do in the future does not undo the damage. This chaos seems to be just a game for Donald Trump. But it is really real, very real, for people's lives, people's livelihoods, people's retirements, people's income. Meanwhile, Trump seems to be playing a game of red light, green light. He's playing red light, green light with our economy. One day this, one day that. I have never seen such a chaotic administration action when it comes to something so vital and that affects everybody everywhere. It's just unprecedented how bad this administration is. And as I said, the Trump slump is upon us, and virtually nothing he can do can make the damage that's already been done go away. Yes.
Senator Schumer, the administration argues that these massive tariffs that he announced, that he has now paused down to 10%, have brought many countries to the table to negotiate lower trade barriers, and that there will be positive results from this going forward.
How can you believe anything they say when they change their opinion from hour to hour, day to day, week to week? I don't have any faith in the fact that this has been thought out, planned out, and will lead to any good result at all. Yes?
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you're almost at a loss for words. I know you mentioned chaos. Are you surprised at all by what Trump announced today?
We know that Donald Trump doesn't think things through. We know that whatever hits him for the moment he does. But on something so vital, like the whole economy of America, the amount of money people have in their pockets and their livelihoods, on something as vital as this, yes, it leaves you agape at what he is doing and how much damage he is causing and how little he cares. He thinks it's a game. He almost thinks it's fun. Well, for 330 million Americans, this is not fun at all. Yes, ma'am.
Senator Schumer, I have two questions for today's views, the tariffs first. President Trump said in the Rose Garden last week that he was doing this because no other president had taken advantage of the reciprocity that he's radiating. You've been in the Senate for much longer than President Trump has been the president. Do you think that there were missed opportunities from previous U.S. leaders in the way...
Well, look, what previous leaders have done is nothing, whether you agree or disagree. It's not close. The damage that he has done here is just magnitudes worse than any other damage that's been done with tariffs, maybe since Smoot-Hawley. So it's incredible. Next.
And he's continuing with the tariffs on China and that strategy in an effort to try to, create some kind of balance in trade there. Do you agree with that strategy at all?
Look, there needs to be, when you have a tariff strategy, it needs to be pinpointed and focused. What is the goal? Who are you going after? And how do you get the rest of the world to join us? What Trump has done is he has created a situation where the whole world's against us. And everyone's furious at America, and we're alone. The only way you can bring China to be fairer, and they are not, is by creating alliances and having the whole world focused on China instead of the whole world angry at America. Thank you, everybody.